meet the Georgia Bulldogs, you're gonna feel the Bulldog. Standing up and cheering September till the 1st of June.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Row 60, a Georgia football podcast. My name is Clark Gaines. Joining me today, as always, Adam Thornton. Boom! And this is show number 148. Big boom, Adam. We got a big episode for the people.
Man, this is one of the most exciting episodes we've had so far, Clark. I mean, we're a fan podcast. We've said that from day one when we've done it. And just as a fan, I'm geeking out right now with the excitement of having this guest on that we have tonight. Can't wait to hear just the stories that he has, man, and his opinions on the Dogs this year. And a lot of fun we're about to have tonight.
Yeah. Well, it's been about 10 years since Kirby Smart took over in Athens, and we thought, man, we need a guy who saw before, during, and after what Kirby Smart has done at the University of Georgia. And we thought this guy was the perfect pick. He's a great ambassador of the University of Georgia and the football team. He has you've probably seen him a lot on social media if you guys keep up with anything Georgia football related. He's out there, man. He's doing some good stuff. Today, we are joined by former linebacker Davin Bellamy. Davin, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you, Davin.
What's up, man? How y'all doing, man? I like that introduction, man. I've been doing my stuff for so long, man. I've been doing all the intros. So, man, it was cool just to sit back and get an intro right quick, man.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I love it, Davin. Yeah, we're excited to have you tonight, man. And what we were talking about earlier, why we're excited to have Davin, too, is talk about what Clark was talking about, his time in Athens, man, and just to show, that we've experienced the success that we've seen Georgia football have just the past few years, and just the foundation that was built by Davin and the guys that he played with, and the success that started early on in the Kirby Smart era with him, and just some of the stories that we get to hear tonight. I'm excited.
Yeah. Davin, let's just jump right into it, brother. No wasting any time here. I want to know just what you're up to these days. And I think a lot of Georgia football fans, they wonder, what happens to some of the guys who go onto the league. Obviously, we can see those guys on Sundays, but, some of the other Georgia football players. So tell us what you're up to these days. What do you got going on?
Yeah, man, I'm doing full-time media now, man. So, Dog Nation gave me my first media gig about, 3 years ago. And so I'm always appreciative, to them, just for kicking the door down for me. And then, ever since then, last year I did the Atlanta News first. We did pre and post game there. Then I started doing my own stuff, man. Because one thing I learned about the NFL is, man, you can get cut, at any time. So it's best to own something. So, I love doing the news, but I just knew I had to build something on my own, format. So I started doing the team meeting. The off the clocks, and right now just trying to build this One Love production company from scratch, man. But it's been going good.
Yeah.
And
you see it everywhere, man. Like, I'm on social media. Adam is not. Adam, for a multitude of reasons, is not on social media, and I don't hardly blame him sometimes. But I will say, anytime I'm scrolling, I start to see your face, and you've had some good stuff, like good content out there. So yeah, One Love Productions. Y'all need to go follow Davin out there. If you're listening to this, if you aren't already. But yeah, man, it looks like you're killing it with it.
Oh, absolutely, man. Because I don't have a Facebook, Instagram, none of that, but I have a YouTube, and I see Davin stuff on YouTube. And like Clark said, if you haven't been following it, you need to, man, because this is somebody who's lived it, who's been there, been a part of a Kirby Smart defense, played at the University of Georgia, who is giving you his analysis of games each week, breaking down film, man, stuff like that. And as fans, that's just gold for us to be able to eat up and see that. So we appreciate what you're doing in that regard.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, man. And, the team meeting and stuff I do, I try to bring, I try to make it, well, some people have said it's kind of like, football for dummies. Like, I'm not trying to really go the whole, this is the X's and O's, because, when you're in that team meeting, the coach is expecting you to know the X's and O's, but there's always one, position or one part of a play on why it didn't go good, or why it went bad. And sometimes not all about, the X's and O's. So that's what we're trying to bring, man. But I appreciate y'all.
Yeah. Breaking it down in layman's terms. I mean, that's important because, dude, there's a lot of people think football is just super simple to understand the X's and O's. It's not. Like, when you get to the college level, I mean, even the high school level, but when you get into college, I mean, there's so much more to learn and to understand. And, there's a lot of armchair quarterbacks, and I'll admit I've been there before. I will say I feel like I know a little bit more than the average fan, but man, there's layers to it. There's layers, and I like how you break it down, man. So yeah, keep up the good work with that.
Oh yeah, a lot of people, man, don't know defensive coverages unless they're on NCAA football.
Yeah, I know that is true. I'm still trying to figure those out.
Yeah,
love it.
Well, let's talk about. I want to throw this way back when you were getting recruited, and let's go back to high school days. I know you played at Chamblee High School, right down the road. So tell us about your recruitment. How did that get started? Who recruited you? Because I know there's certain coaches that specifically recruit your area. So tell us about that process and why you even chose Georgia in the first place.
Well, man, I was committed to Florida State first. I just my Georgia, offer didn't come to about, I think it was like offer 23. So they was kind of late on me. And Florida State, was very, very persistent. And I went down there, man. I fell in love with Jimbo Fisher. I always say he had a way with words like Todd Grantham, man, So I was a 3-star on Rivals, 4-star on, ESPN. I wasn't really a, highly touted guy. And at that time, Georgia was looking at Miles Jack, Carl Lawson. So that was that class. So they got on me late. And I think what happened was Miles Jack, he decommitted last minute and went to UCLA about, I guess, like maybe a month before or 3 weeks before signing day. So Todd Grantham, he swooped in and, he wowed me right off my feet, man. And he's a smooth guy. And, he came to Georgia. I mean, not Georgia, but he came to Chamblee High School to see me in person. And he had just left the NFL, I think like 3-4 years before. And around this time in 2015, the pro league and college football was starting to move from 4-3 to 3-4. Around 2015 is where you started to see the difference between the 6'5", 265-pound DN, and now I may want a small forward there, so he can drop in coverage. So we looking at in high school the 6'4", 220 guys who can drop in coverage, and rush. So that was that, man. And Todd Grantham had showed all the data before he was with the Cowboys, and they ran 3-4. He had DeMarcus Ware, and he showed how much money he made DeMarcus Ware. Yeah. And he showed, when he got to Georgia, he showed the year of Justin Houston sacks before he got there, and he showed me the sacks, with him there. And he showed me what he did for Jarvis, and then he showed me what he did for George Jenkins. So, I'm a person where, I'm all action. You can say this all you want. But one thing I love about Todd Grantham is he pull out that sheet. He'll show you. I made him money. I made him money. I made him money. I made him money playing your position. So it was easy to sell me.
Oh, you can't argue that.
Yeah,
that's exactly right, man.
I mean, he coached some studs.
Oh, yeah. And then the Florida State at that point in time isn't the Florida State that you see today, even though they are. I mean, it's just traditional power. Back then, too, they were top of the league then. I mean, that would have been – who would have been the D-court? Was it Jeremy Pruitt at Florida State when he was starting to talk to you?
This was
Mark Stoops there, too.
It wasn't Mark Stoops. It was Damian – I think it was Damian Elliott.
Okay.
And the reason why I decommitted from Florida State was because they fired him and hired Jeremy Pruitt.
I'll be nice.
And it was crazy. Jeremy Pruitt, he actually tried to talk me out of decommitting and was like, look, I'm taking over at Florida State, but we want you. But by this time, I took that visit to Georgia, and everybody, at my school was like, bro, you're an Atlanta kid and you're not going to go to Georgia.
Yeah.
And at the time, when I look at the stuff I'm doing now, that made so much sense. But I just it just seemed like Georgia was a school to go to. And man, it worked out perfectly.
Yeah. I like that, man. I like it. Yeah. We're glad you came to Georgia, man. You made a big difference. And
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So let's go to 2015. So you were there, 13 to 17? Is that right?
13 to 17, man.
And you redshirted your freshman year, right?
Redshirted your freshman year, man. So I saw all of them, bro. I saw Todd Grantham, the Seahawks coach, Mike McDonald. He's a scout team coach. Right. So I was on scout team my freshman year because I redshirted. So Todd Graham didn't even bother, coaching the scout team. All the scout team before practice went to, a separate room. And Mike McDonald, he was over the scout team.
Dang.
And that attention to detail that he had and how serious he took getting the scout team ready for, the scout periods, we always knew this guy was going to be a stud. Now, we didn't know he was going to win a Super Bowl, but he just had that coach's feel to him.
That's crazy,
That's
man.
awesome.
I didn't realize. Yeah, I guess he would have been.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
there
That time, that's something
he was
that a lot
there.
of people
Yep.
don't realize. But that's a great tidbit. Right there.
So let's go to 2015. This is kind of where I want to start talking about, Georgia football here with you because, like I said earlier, you've seen kind of the before, the during, the after of Coach Smart and that effect. But take us back to let's go back to 2015. What did the locker room feel like? Because I was there. That was my freshman year. I got to kind of see the behind the scenes too, but it's a little bit different being in the locker room and then being down the hall from the locker room. I heard some rumors. I heard some stuff, Coach Richt, let's talk about him too. Give me your thoughts on that 2015 season. What was that like for you as a player to go through that season? Because I feel like a lot of fans look at that season and are like, yeah, we won 10 games, but it didn't feel satisfying. It was it's kind of lackluster. So tell us, what was it like being in the locker room then?
Well, 15, that's Pruitt's, first year. So, at this time, Pruitt has came off of a national championship with Florida State as a defensive coordinator. And what people, fail to realize is he had won at Bama the year before that. So when Pruitt walked in the building in 15, as the DC, he coming off 2 back-to-back natties, so he's feeling himself.
Right.
But, as he should.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely.
So, and at this time, the narrative around Georgia was we couldn't win, the big one. It was just, is it getting stale? Is the message getting old? Phil Jackson say a head coach should leave a team every 10 years because the message gets stale. So that's why he said he decided to leave the Bulls, take years off and go to the Lakers.
Yeah.
So I look at that 2015 team, I think when Coach Pruitt came in, he brought another level of, sense of urgency. Mark Richt was a great guy, but he was more of a, offensive guy.
Right.
And now that I've played for Coach Smart and then I played for, Greg Williams, those defensive, coaches with large personalities, they pretty much take over the team a little bit. I had Bill O'Brien for 3 years too.
Right.
Just those hard-nosed, and I think it was just a clash of, personalities.
Right.
You got smooth, suave, God-fearing, Mark Richt. Then you got Pruitt, who's coming in with, that bad A mentality.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I could tell that. It was, let's just say Coach Pruitt was pretty brash, He was out there dropping a lot of expletives.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine.
It was wild, man, because, you're right. Like, you got Coach Richt, and I don't know. This is how I see Coach Richt. Love the man. Great coach. Love everything he did at the University of Georgia. But in 2015, and that was my first year with the team and just being able to see, behind the scenes, but it seemed like Coach Richt at that point in his career, it was more just kind of CEO,
There you go.
I'm not going to be super involved in practice. He was involved in practice, maybe I should say, but he wasn't in there like Coach Richt or Coach Smart was or is nowadays, right? Coach Smart's with the secondary, just, riding their tails. Coach Richt just kind of walked around, and two different coaching styles. I'm not saying one's necessarily better than the other, but it was just different, right?
Oh, man, yeah, man. That year with Pruitt, I didn't see Mark Richt cuss that much until that year.
Yeah,
he was cussing a lot, man. And the first, you gotta look at it like this, bro. The first memory I got of Pruitt is he came in there for 5 o'clock, morning workouts. And this is why, I like to give him his flowers. Even though he didn't do, everything right, I think he warmed up the fan base and the people inside the building for what's about to come.
Right.
Because the first memory I remember of Pruitt was we had breakfast for our 5 o'clock, workouts. And all we had was a Gatorade machine, some protein shakes, some peanuts, and some protein bars.
Oh.
This is at the University of Georgia.
That's crazy.
Let's be for real. So his first morning, he walked in and we doing spring practice. And he walked, not spring practice, but spring morning workouts. And he walked into the locker room and he seen what we were eating.
Yeah.
And he completely flipped the tables where the snacks were. And like he's walking up down the hallway saying, y'all not feeding them like champions, how y'all expect them to win, championships. And they in here eating peanuts and water before, 5 o'clock, workouts. And then you look up 2 weeks later, it was Chick-fil-A, every morning.
Yeah.
Yep. And now these guys they got steaks, eggs, and hash browns. So it's like, I saw the beginning of what they learned from Bama is how you do anything is how you do, everything.
Yes.
And you can't expect these players to go out there and win you the big games late in the season. And we're not even feeding them, properly. As they should be fed going to the University of Georgia. Mm-hmm. So that was the clash of, it was one storm that was coming in where it was like, and I always say this, man, like, you don't want to say this, but, even in life and what Coach Smart has taught me about, football has just turned me into a disciplined person outside of football. What he meant to my life between the ages of 20 and 22, I don't think money or anything could, repay him. And basically what he just, told us was good is the enemy of great. And it takes this much to go to good, to trying to being great. And you literally gotta, from the moment you wake up, you have attention detail in everything you do. So that means you have attention detail when you're making your bed. You keep yourself on a routine. You have discipline. And that's how my days are run. That's how I run, everything. So I think Coach Pruitt just brought in that, look, nice guys finish last. If you want to win in this league, you got to be able to put your foot, on people's throats. And then you have the flash of, we'll get it done next week.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it just can't coexist.
Yeah. That's
really good. That's really good.
Yeah.
How tough was that, Davin, for you, man, an outside linebacker? And you talked about Coach Grantham recruiting you and being there with him as well. So you had three different defensive coordinators during your time with Grantham, Pruitt, and Mel Tucker, and of course Kirby. When Kirby came in, Mel Tucker comes from him. But correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't your position coach, Coach Scher, stay from when the old defensive regime left, and he stayed with the current?
He stayed. He stayed. Yeah, man, he was one of those guys where, just another one, man. Just the type of coaching that they brought. When Ty Grantham was there, it was kind of laid back and chill. Man, I was an NFL coach.
Right.
Kind of laid back and chill, man. Let's get some hands, before practice. I don't really want to get you too, sweaty. You know what I'm saying? I want you fresh before we start practice. Very chill, NFL-like. And then with Coach Scher was just one of them, man, like, he reminds you of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
It kind of looks like him too, doesn't he?
No, he does, man. He does, man. And I just remember the first camp we had, with Coach Scher, he made all us put dip in.
I could see that. Oh my God! Somebody
put a little COVID in this. Oh man, I would have loved to see that.
I know. I was about to say, did somebody not get a video of that?
No, we didn't, man. We didn't, but dude, man, like, and he did that because he said, I want to coach bad, MFs.
Yeah. I would have paid money to see that.
I love that. That's gold right there.
So man, they brought a whole different type of mentality to Georgia. And what you're seeing now, Coach Shear, Coach Pruitt, Coach Smart, they all was there around the same time. Coach Pruitt and Coach Shear just got to Georgia first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
But so that's what I mean by they warmed up to what we're seeing now.
Yeah. Dang, that makes a lot of sense. And I know like Coach Pruitt had a lot to do, upgrading our facilities. Everybody, I know it because it was a piece of crap. The 20-yard, I don't even know what you call it, the greenhouse, the little 20-yard indoor facility. Like, what good was that? I mean, you couldn't even run anything. You couldn't even put everybody in there to do any drills. But, man, Coach Pruitt, I've heard, had a big influence on getting the new indoor facility, which you thankfully got to be a part of and got to practice in, because there were some – I know the mat drills and everything. I couldn't imagine doing those outside in the humidity. But anyway, so, yeah, I like how you said Coach Pruitt sort of warmed up everything for Coach Smart.
Yeah, because you got to think about it like this. Coach Pruitt got a bad rap. Now, mind you, all the stuff that, allegedly, happened, at the houses and stuff like that, we didn't see that.
Right.
But coming from, my eyes, bro, that's a hard change.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, you go from this type of personality to this guy, boom.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to think about, he kind of softened the blow.
Yeah.
Or because maybe if Coach Smart, if he comes in, in 15, the rhetoric may be, he too mean.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Coach Pruitt warmed us up. Like, even playing for him, it's like, look, man, those guys are both mad scientists. They are both crazy. So when you had Coach Pruitt, by the time you got Coach Smart, the yelling's damn near the same.
Yeah, right. I could not listen. I don't think it would be possible. I know they were on staff at Alabama together, but I don't think it would have been possible to have Kirby Smart and Jeremy Pruitt on the same staff at Georgia. And I'm going to tell you something. If that were the case ever, I would not envy any one of you playing defense. That would have been.
No chance.
I love it.
Oh,
that's good stuff.
All right, so talking about Coach Richt here. Now, obviously, he got let go. So tell us about that experience. Did they call a big team meeting? Like, how did that kind of go down with Coach Richt? And what was your reaction to that? I mean, were you kind of surprised by it, or did you kind of see it coming? Like, what was your reaction?
I think by that time, 2013, I think even if you didn't want to, admit it, we all saw it coming. So, if the fans saw it, coming,
yeah, y'all definitely
imagine what the players felt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and what I learned in the NFL is if the coach is on the hot seat, everybody's on the hot seat. You can just feel it. When you're in a winning streak in the league, the facility is all good and everybody, they got a job next week. When that coach started getting a hot seat, you could feel it, internally. So we knew it was coming up. In my opinion, we went 10-3 that year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't a bad year. It was another 10 games. It was another 10-game winning season that we did, but we didn't play, in the big one. I think he may get another year if it wasn't clear as day that Coach Smart was ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once Coach Smart became, available and we knew that that's who we were getting, we loved Rick, but y'all gotta, realize that 13 class, we got the back end of him.
Mm-hmm.
We, like you said, by the time we got to him, he was, the CEO,
Right.
not really in all the rooms. He just kind of stayed in the officer, meeting room. And then what you guys don't remember is, or you probably do, we had Shoddy, Schottenheimer,
That's right.
who's the head coach for the Cowboys now.
Right.
Yeah. Crazy.
So you had an NFL, OC, and then you had Pruitt, who had just come off now championship. So Mark Richt was kind of hands off.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in his head, too, he kind of knew he was on his way out.
Yeah.
So he kind of didn't build that relationship with that 13 class.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
I was like, I'm on the way out. There's no even point, and that's to take nothing away from him. It's just how it was at that time. And if once we knew he was getting Coach Smart, we was all ecstatic, but we knew that it came with losing Coach Pruitt, which was kind of like that team loves Coach Pruitt. We all loved him.
Yeah.
So we knew it was going to come with the risk of losing Coach Pruitt, and we was to always try to hang on to this thing of Coach Smart going to be the head coach and Jeremy Pruitt going to be the DC. So but we knew that just couldn't happen. But once we, finally was getting Coach Smart, man, just like the Georgia fan base, bro, we always excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I like it. Well, I had a follow-up question to that. Let me ask you this. Like, when did you realize – all right, let's back up here. Coach Smart comes in, day one, week one, whatever, month one. How soon did you realize, oh, my gosh, this is different? I mean, did it take a few months? Did it take you getting out there, mat drills? Like, what was it that was like, holy crap, this is a different regime?
See, this is what I mean, though. Physically, bro, when Coach Pruitt and them got there, he turned it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, so it was.
I mean, that's what I mean, that buffer. Like, when they all came from the same place.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
So it's like when Coach Pruitt got there, we went from having 17 120s with Richt and the off-season staff to now 25.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You got 25 110s now. Like, the workouts got so much harder.
Mm-hmm.
The attention to detail just got crazy. Like, I came from Todd Grantham to, Coach Shear, and it used to take us 3 hours to go through film because before we even get to the play, Coach Shear is stopping it because we false stepping.
Mm.
And when I was a young player, we used to get so annoyed because we were watching tape. I just got a sack in practice, and you were winding it back. Why'd you false step?
Yeah.
Why'd you false step? And they used to just push us, man. I remember the first workout when Pruitt and them got there, they pushed the dog. They really got the butt out of the duck. And I remember Coach Shear saying, y'all need to learn how to take your governor off. And we didn't know what that means until he broke it down to us. And that staff made me realize in that class that, continue on of we could work much harder than we've been working.
Yeah.
But I do say the way that Coach Smart turned it up was, it was the meetings. I think Coach Pruitt and that staff, they could see what needed to be done. Okay, Georgia just not, working harder,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to give you this one example too. We in camp, this 2-a-days. So after the first practice, everybody is banged up, right? So Coach Pruitt, he goes in the medical room and he grabs the list of who can't, practice for day 2 of the 2-a-day or the second practice. And it's like 17 names of they're going to be in green jerseys, green jerseys, green jerseys, green jerseys, green jerseys. So he looked at this, and I remember being in there getting my ankles taped. And they gave him the sheet. He ripped the sheet up, threw it, and said, this why y'all don't win around here. All y'all soft. Let me tell you, all 17 guys who was in green jerseys who wasn't going to practice, he said they're practicing, and they practice. So they already changed our mind to we could go a level above than what we've been doing. And maybe that's why we're not getting over the hump here, because we all cool with being good. But the difference is, though, I feel like Coach Smart developed the psyche of Nick Saban in a way Pruitt, couldn't.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Coach Smart, man, I always say, man, he turned us into, serial killers where it's like you go do the job and you don't mind. Like, this the job. This the contract I got to go do. I got to go do it. I don't care. I'm getting paid to be, a hitman. I got to go do my job. That's how we thought about going to do our job. Whatever's going on the outside, go do your job with no emotion. If you do good, I don't want to hear you pat yourself on the back. If you do bad, get over it, go to the next play. Just be stoic. And that's why I say it taught me so much about life, because that's how I live my life now. Like the highs, I never get high, and the lows, I never get lows.
Yep.
We just stay right here. So I think the shift I saw was when Smart, came in there and just started tapping into our minds, the meetings we would have, the talks we would have. Man, it was nuts, man. It was nuts.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. That's real good stuff, man.
Yeah. You can just tell, like, there was an immediate shift in that building, I think. And you're right. A lot of it had to do with just the culture. I know that word's tossed around and used in a million different ways, but, like, truly the culture started changing the moment that man stepped in the building. Now, I got to ask you, though, I mean, you were around a lot of the players. Was everybody kind of bought into this, or did it take some time? That I know that 2016 season, that was kind of ground zero for Coach Smart. But was everybody kind of buying into it, or did it just take some games? It take some learning? What do you think?
We did. I mean, but that's why we lost those games in 16, because we didn't buy in at first.
Right.
Like those games came down to what? Vanderbilt came down to what, like a 4th and 1.
Yeah.
Tennessee came down to a Hail Mary. And what's those? Game of inches.
Yep.
That's right.
Missouri.
That's
right. I mean, we were on the winning end, but yeah, Missouri.
Right. So so we hadn't bought into what he was trying to sell us to go be that inch a little better. We were still trying to hang on to the old ways of thinking, because, like I say, he didn't. Now, I want to give credit to, Scott Sinclair too.
Oh, yeah.
Because Coach Pruitt and the staff just tried to get the butter out of the duck. And they just worked us hard to where, okay, we can go further. But Coach Scott Sinclair came in and knew how to get us bigger, stronger, faster.
Yep.
With some science behind it. I'm just not finna run the, crazy just how it's some, managed behind the method. But yeah, man, we just didn't buy in that year, because you realize to be great, you got to do it every day, every rep, every drill, in the classroom, off the field. Greatness just has this discipline to it that the average person can't achieve, because it's too hard to do it on a consistent basis.
Right.
So we tried to do what he wanted to do it, but he hadn't broke us yet mentally to where we had the discipline and the consistency.
Yeah.
We just had the discipline sometimes, but then we revert back, to our habits.
Yeah. So it took about a year, is what it seems like.
It took a year. Yeah, it took a year, for
makes
sure.
sense.
It took a year.
2016 was a messy year. I mean, we all remember some of the games and stuff. I mean, there's some good wins. There's
That
some
Auburn game.
Auburn
you
game,
just
yeah.
saw it as a fan in the stands. It was just
Oh,
building.
yeah.
It was.
I mean, Missouri, that was a good win, and it showed, okay, we can come back on a road. I don't care what people say. Missouri's not that bad of an environment. I mean, it's not the top in the SEC, but my point is that was a good comeback win.
I enjoyed the Liberty Bowl that year. I went to Memphis and had a great time.
Liberty Bowl.
I was at the Liberty Bowl. That was great.
That was a
good
big
time.
win,
Liberty Bowl.
And so, I mean, it wasn't all bad in 2016. Definitely some rough patches, but you're right. I mean, you got to break something down before you build it back up in some of these situations.
Yep. No, I'm just saying we're getting to the point where I've been very excited to talk to Davin.
We're getting to 2017. I do want to touch on 2016.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So let me ask you, like 2016, what's the kind of the low moment that year? Was there just a game that just frustrated you to no end? I mean, was it the Hail Mary against Tennessee, or what was that game that you were like, this sucks?
It was in Tennessee because, we had a chance to, upset a team.
Yeah.
And it just came down to the attention to detail, the last play of the game, But I think that year, like I said, man, we were starting to change, and we didn't harp on the old, losses, because he won't allow you to do that.
Yep.
I mean, by Monday, by Sunday, we lifted. We on to the next week, and by Monday, we watching the film. But it's time to move on. I just think that Tennessee stands out to me because it was such a last moment, play. But as far as just letting that season or that game roll over, man, Coach Smart not allowing that.
Right.
It's not allowing that. So we never really got down. And I think we saw what everybody else saw is, you know what? This little crazy dude, it does work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So let's buy in a little bit.
Yeah. I remember very vividly, right, the week after that. That's when we were driving over on the buses. That sucked. Not the IM fields, but I don't know what they call those fields. Over there by the softball field.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. But I remember y'all having to run drills or not, I mean, it was like the end of a period or something where y'all had to get in the end zone and there's like 5 of you swatting the ball down. I was like, man, now they know. I mean, just knock the ball down. And I know. I mean, everybody made good effort. Everybody was in position, but, man, that ball – it was perfect.
It's just
football.
It's just
football.
That's why we love football.
Yeah.
See, sometimes,
True.
our team's on the good end of the bad. That's just what makes it special.
Right. Right. All right. So end of 2016, we're getting to the good stuff with 2017. But end of 2016, right? We win the Liberty Bowl, and look, I know people aren't thrilled necessarily about going to the Liberty Bowl, but I'm sure you as players, you at least appreciate, hey, we get one more game to go out and compete and put a stamp on this. Obviously, you end the season with a loss against Georgia Tech. Now, what I'm kind of building up to is this, Davin. When you, Lorenzo, Nick, and Sony, y'all all, made your announcement that you're coming back to the University of Georgia for one more year, your senior year, I want you to kind of walk us through what went into that decision. And, did it have anything to do with how that 2016 season, how it played out? Was there a bad taste in your mouth, or were you just like, hey, we got to come back and do this thing right?
Yeah, man, we lost a lot of games by one possessions. And we was playing good ball. And that was, I think, a lot of our chances of a lot of the first time we was like the names you mentioned, it was like our team finally that year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, like you won't see this now a lot, really outside of Georgia, of guys, waiting their turn. But, me and Lorenzo Carter have been sitting behind Jordan Jenkins and Leonard Floyd for so long. We was ready to be starters and we was ready to be the bookends.
Yeah. Right.
And they said they was leaving 1 year, then they both stayed. And me and Zoe like, we got another year of playing our role, but we ready to be the bookends.
Yeah,
Sony and Chubb and them, they were sharing the backfield with, Todd, the couple, and they was ready to be their own 1-2 punch. So Raquan came on really good that end of the year where you say, okay, this is one of them dudes.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
And I think Jacob Eason played very well.
Yeah.
And it was like, dog, it was our first time being our team. We've waited our turn to be the guys.
Right.
And we can't go out like that.
Yeah.
Like, we've waited 3 years to finally get on the field and be the bookends and to be the leader of the defense. And same with the offense. It's Chubb and Sony's show. Yeah. We can't go out like this. And me and Zoe were like roommates. And me and Sony had the same class. And at first, Zoe was like, we just sitting on the couch. It wasn't nothing crazy. It just came up in conversation. Zoe was like, I think I said something along the lines of, what NFL team you thinking about going to? Because I just for sure thought with what he was going to do in the combine, whatever grade they had him at now, he was going to go tear the combine up.
Yeah.
And he ended up tearing the combine up a year later. So picture him a year before. He would have probably went 4.3, 40-inch vert, 11.2 broad. So we all knew that whatever grade is on Lorenzo Carter now, when he go do the combine, that's jumping up 2 rounds.
Right.
So I thought for sure he was gone. And he was like, bro, you talking about I'm staying. I was like, oh, okay. And then me and Sony, we sat in the back of it was our comm class. And I just laid over and asked Sony, Sony, if he was staying. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, I guess this is the census. And my mind was made up. I thought, okay, I'm out of here. I don't really want to know if I'm mentally there enough to do a 5th year.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like you guys said, it's like my 3rd staff. I done been through the Pruitt's trying to run guys out of here. I done been through the Smarts. I mean, I'm just tired of being in college right now, to be completely honest with you, as a 5th year. And just the work that came with it. But then when everybody else decided to stay, I'm just like, man, you know what? Why not? I mean, my boy's not leaving. And come to find out, Coach Smart had a whole PowerPoint for me to stay. And we were supposed to meet that night after practice. But I just ran on the practice field before the meeting that night that I had no idea about. But I just ran on the practice field and I just ran by him and I just said, yeah, I'm going to stay. And I just ran and went to, the jumping jacks line. Because like the way he just trained us, it was like, I mean, it's not about us. It's not a big deal situation. Like, I don't need no press conference about I'm staying. Like, let's get to work, for the bowl game. And by the way, I'm staying, coach. All right, next period. Like, that's just the way he just that's the way we were there. That's just how he was.
And you know what I love about this, and I can speak to this too, but I love the fact that y'all did this. You didn't have, look, NIL, I understand for you guys, it would have been awesome, right? And I like it for the current day players. Like, don't get me wrong. They need to get paid, right? If they're earning the university money and generating all this revenue, they deserve a slice. I'm not anti-NIL. But what I'm trying to get at is here, y'all did that before the NIL era. You did that. You came back. You made a decision because you love playing and you wanted to own that team and be a leader on that team. And I've got a lot of respect for that because y'all could have gone on and did your own things beyond that. You could have, ridden off into the sunset, whatever, Georgia football players for life, but you didn't. You said, I want to come back. I want to do this thing right. I want to start something, or I want to finish something that I started, right? And so,
and I like we were talking about earlier too, man. Is you sit there and you watch Georgia today, you watch the national championships. You can sit there and watch them either in Sanford Stadium or on the television and be like, man, me and my boys, our decisions and then what we did, it built, laid the foundation to what us fans are enjoying now, and the memories we had watching y'all as well, the great memories. But I go back to those decisions that were made, that y'all made in December of 2016 as a fan, and think, man, that's where I pinpoint the start of the fun I've had watching my favorite team enjoyed for the past decade.
Yeah, and I mean, it honestly, like seriously, it laid a foundation because I think like you were saying earlier, waiting your turn. Like that's just, you don't see that a lot anymore. You do at Georgia some and some of these other programs, but like that just doesn't exist. Like you can just go hop in the transfer portal and you're going. And I'm not saying that's necessarily right or wrong. I think it's bad for the sport, but y'all built that culture so that we got guys like Jordan Davis coming back again and Trayvon and Channing Tindall, all these guys, right? And I think that's what set the tone for those national championships runs were when y'all came back in 2017 and you showed that it could be done, right? You took us all the way to the end and dadgummit, we were almost there. We almost won the thing. We'll get to that. But, I mean, y'all set the tone, so.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that, man. And we just generally love, playing for each other, man. Zoe is my best friend. We were basically roommates, and I didn't know if I was ready to just be away from that's the last time where you're playing football. And this before, the NIL era. So man, that's one of the last time you're playing football in one of its purest forms.
Yeah. Right.
And that team was so close. We did, everything together. We went out together, we worked hard together and we made sure, everybody was up in the morning. No matter what the night was, you made sure your teammates up and we knew we was going to take care of business. So we just loved each other, man. And that's how, when they said that they was coming back, I'm like, oh yeah, I just want to do this with y'all, so it's perfect that you see that now, man. I really do appreciate that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think a lot of people out there would echo that same thing.
100%. I mean, we've talked about it, just me and, we obviously all of our friends were all diehard Georgia fans, grew up in the state of Georgia, have loved just Georgia football since we were little, and that we've talked about that several times.
Yeah.
And, So.
But I got goosebumps. I'll never forget. I was sitting in the video room, and I saw y'all's, Coach Smart brought y'all up to the podium, and y'all said y'all are coming back, man. I got goosebumps. I'm not joking.
That's pretty dope.
But
I
was like, right. This is what we need right here.
I see it.
Because I saw the promise of 16. I saw the promise of Coach Smart, but it took some leaders, and I think this is a good segue into what we're about to talk about here. In 17, it took some leaders to really step up, to say, hey, we're not putting up with the way we used to do things. This is how we're doing it now. This is a new era. And we're playing for championships. We don't want to just make it championships. We want to win championships. And sure enough, that 17 season, as we all remember it, we got one. And it's not the biggest one we could have gotten, but we got one nonetheless. And that's something that we can be proud of. So let's start in 2017, go through that year, because that's a lot of fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Adam, what you got?
No, I was just going to say, I mean, still to this day, the 2017 team is so special as a fan, from being in the stands, going to stadium to the Rose Bowl, everywhere, watching that team, man, and just the joy as a fan. And my family, the celebrations we had in the stands watching y'all, man. Let me preface this by saying, you know, I'm the type of fan that I enjoy defensive football. Some people probably they're most excited they get a 40-yard bomb, a touchdown pass, a 44-41 type shootout. But I love watching my teams win 13-7 if they have to. Man, I like defensive football. So in saying that, Davin, my all-time favorite play in football is watching my team's defensive end or outside linebacker blow by a left tackle and just blindside a quarterback and cause a fumble. So you know where I'm going with this, man. I can't pick but my all-time two Davin Bellamy favorite plays is, of course, in Notre Dame and South Bend, Indiana, man. Let's start with that.
Yeah.
Winning that game 20-19. And we know we've talked about what 2017 meant, but I want to point out these two plays in particular and how if they don't happen, you know, that stuff can go different in both of these football games. But especially that game up there, I mean, it was unreal how many us Georgia fans were up there, that's a trip I'll never forget. And I hate where college football is now in the sense of, because of conference expansion, that we don't get as fans and y'all as players get to go play in these other venues unless they're in playoff games now. But I'm thinking about about a minute 35 left in the clock. Georgia's up 20-19. Brandon Wimbush, Notre Dame's quarterback, they're about at midfield, right? And
about midfield.
You make a clutch play, cough up a fumble. Lorenzo Carter recovers it, if I'm not mistaken, man.
Yeah.
And I think, man, I just talking about that, I think there's guys, as a fan sitting in the stands, it seems like there's guys who just have a knack of getting to the football and making big plays when big plays need to be made and causing havoc is what you hear us fans hear Coach Smart say. And you're one of them guys, man, that just you got a natural knack of making a big play, causing a turnover and key spots. And I'll get the other one I'm talking about later, but man, we have got to just go back to that night in South Bend, Indiana, in that play.
Talk about it.
No, man, that's a special night. You know, first of all, you know, it's on NBC. The first time Georgia has played on NBC in a long time. So who my man that called the basketball games? Mike Vereen, the black dude?
Yeah.
He called that game. He wear the glasses, right?
Yeah.
So he normally don't call college, you know, football games.
Yeah.
But since it was on NBC, he was broadcasted. And I grew up watching the NBA Finals.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome.
So and he called them.
That's cool.
And it's like hearing that last play and his voice just does something.
Oh, I bet
you know,
that's
to
awesome.
me, bro. It's kind of euphoric because I'm a Jordan Kobe fan and just listening to him call buzzer beaters is like, it was crazy. But that game was one of the games that we circled of. We got 2 pancakes at home, and then we got to go play Notre Dame either week 3 or week 4. And I circled that game on the calendar saying if we could get this game, I think we'll run the table. Jacob Eason goes down, so that game got a little bit more, you know, it's a little bit more around on this because now we're taking a true freshman up there.
Right.
And we didn't know how Jake Fromm would perform. This was his first real big test as a freshman. Mind you, though, the camps, this guy was a perfect leader, natural-born leader. From the time he came in the springtime, he took control of the whole team. Natural-born leader, movie quarterback, says all the right things, can lead you to do anything, right? But we hadn't seen him with live bullets versus Notre Dame. And when he got in there, he was composed, and we said, we may be okay. We may be okay. Now, the challenge all week was, well, Coach Mark did a great job of, he challenged me and Zoe all week, right? And he challenged the D-line. You guys think y'all are so good. You know, I've coached at Bama. I coached this guy. And when they have guys that are projected to go top 10, this is what the Dante Hightowers do to them. He was challenged. It's like, y'all think y'all that? Well, you got Mike McGlinchey and Quentin Nelson on the O-line this week. So D-line, let me see what y'all do. So he challenged us all week. So I took the matchup very personally. Right. And me and Zoe, we usually flip-flop sides. Wherever we break the huddle, I go to the left, you go to the right. If I break the huddle on the right or the left, but this game, I say, okay, I'm just going to line up on Mike McGlinchey all game. This is what I want. This is my senior year. This is the first tackle off the board. If I want to play in the league, I'm going to find out right now. I'm getting all 35-plus snaps on the top 10 pick. Yep. And once I realized it's a difference between Notre Dame and Georgia, the difference between how we train, it's the difference between how we do camp. Like, it's different. And I took that one-on-one matchup very seriously. I beat him with a couple moves in the first half. And I think on like the second drive, I was just warming him up. By the third drive, I was hitting him with the same move that I won the game with, but they were pressures, not sacks.
Yep.
So me just playing the game on my mind and knowing he's a top 10 tackle, you got to stash that move. Because you would have hit him with it once, it almost cost a sack.
Yeah.
So he's downloaded that in his software now.
Yeah.
So if you keep going to it, trying to rush that sack, he's going to find a way to stop it.
Yep. Right.
So I stashed that move. And then we got to the fourth quarter in that last drive. I said, this is the time to go back to it.
Yep.
Crazy thing about that is they was running the hurry up. And Coach Smart was about to sub DeAndre Walker in for me because he thought we were gassed. But they went hurry up so he couldn't sub. And when you watch that play, it's like I'm right on time with the ball because I see them trying to sub and it kind of distracts me because I hear him talking to me. So when I turn my head, the ball just snapped and reaction was just to go. And for some reason, everything just slowed up to where I saw his elbow. And I was able to hit right here on the elbow. And that's what you're taught is like, if I can lock the elbow out right here, where how he punches, if he punched and I knocked that elbow, what you saw in the video was, it was like somebody pulled his arm out of socket. Well, that's because your elbow does this when it's bent. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I hit it right on the elbow and he lunged and I just saw the ball. And it came to, okay, the second quarter, I went low around his waist. He stood up and threw the ball out of bounds. So now this time the body, now I didn't go low on the hips. I wanted to hit the shoulder blade now.
Right.
And when I hit the shoulder blade, the momentum carried the ball out. But that's probably the most crazy play that ever happened in my career, me being, a Kobe fan. And then but I love that play so much because I think when I break this play down, it just show you sometimes football is more mental.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And I was playing chess, and I don't know if he knew that. Because it's like, okay, if I go to this move in the third quarter on 3rd and 6, if I get a sack, will it really change the game?
Yeah, you never know.
But
Oh, yeah.
If I save it for the last 2 minutes when they're driving, getting a field goal range, I think I'd rather pull it out then rather than 3rd and 5 in the second quarter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love that game because it showed to me, okay, you've got to the point where you're playing the game with this now.
Right. Yep. And then the ice in the veins, it was just
that was
great. That was great.
Then run to sidelines and just seeing Kirby just slapping you on the helmet, man, and just the joy in his facial expression too.
And it's got to be so cool. Yeah, it's got to be so cool too to like have your roommate on the other side of the ball to recover that too. And I mean, Lorenzo, he made some huge plays that season too.
Huge plays.
Y'all both did. So.
Bro, he made some huge plays that game, and that's why we came back.
That's right.
That's right. Like, we wanted to be the bookends. We wanted to be the bookends. Like, people talk the Twin Towers. You know, like we had to sit behind Zoe and Jordan for so long. You know, we had our packages, but now this our show. And like for me to get to sack and to him recover it because he knew I like to rush high.
Yeah.
And Zoe was kind of speed to power, you know, rusher. We never ran into each other, you know, back here. We just played off each other of him knowing Bell gonna go high. So I'm usually gonna cut mine in about right here in front, you know. So just the way we played and with Coach Smart, it was so hard to get a reaction out of him. It was so hard. It was so hard to get a good job out of him. You know, I used to always say, if I pat you on the butt, you'll, you know, poop in my hand. So they rarely gave out, you know, he just rarely said good job. That was the time where I was like, man, Coach Smart is an amazing coach, and he thinks I'm good at football.
Mm-hmm.
That gave me so much confidence. The way he reacted is like, that's why you're here. That's why you're here. And him telling me that, and I was already a confident, you know, football player, but this Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
Like, I made Kirby Smart get out of character. Like, this Kirby Smart, man.
That's hard to do. Yeah.
I'm telling you.
That's hard to do. It is.
Yeah. And I mean, he pushes you guys, and I know he does the same with the current, you know, roster too, but he pushes you guys, but truly, like, he wants the very best for you. And I mean, you can see in those moments, we saw it all on TV as we were watching it and in the stadium too. I mean, he was elated. Like, he was cloud nine. And I think that was, I mean, that might have been his biggest signature win up to that point. You go on the road to Notre Dame, a very prestigious program, a lot of history. First time Georgia's ever been up there too. And you go win a big time game against a ranked Notre Dame team.
I'll tell you this, man. That was a once in a lifetime trip for a lot of us who went up there, and the memories we have. It would have been cool, even if Georgia would have lost that game. It would have been, well, we got to go to Notre Dame. But because of the play you made, man, you don't know how many just memories of just fans that got to go to that people will remember that game until they're no longer breathing anymore.
Yeah, appreciate that,
man. And you know, I mean, just because just how just crazy passionate we are, man. But talking about that and that 2017 season and that defense, it you know, even us in the stands could tell how connected in the chemistry that y'all had. The leadership with you and those upperclassmen, man, was just so much fun to watch. I mean, just the quarterbacks that it just looked like they just saw a ghost. When I think about Nick Fitzgerald at Mississippi State, man, Quentin Dormady at Tennessee, Felipe Franks at Florida, and how y'all got after all of them. I mean, golly, that game up in Knoxville and the sacks you had up there and shutting them out was just sweet for all of us who just hate Tennessee. Yeah. And I've had some bad memories up there as fans, you know, for a long time, and that was just a sweet day seeing just Georgia win 41-0.
Yeah, shut them down.
And what y'all did up there.
41-0.
Golly.
Oh man, I don't think they crossed they didn't cross the 50-yard line until I think like the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
literally, they didn't cross the 50.
Yep.
No,
like, whoo.
Yeah, that's rough. So I got to ask you this, playing off that question. This is kind of off topic here, but not really. But who was like the favorite team to beat? Like, who was your favorite team to beat? He's thinking.
I think I had more of a disdain for Tennessee than anybody else, simply because of, you know, I was on the sideline when they cheered when Chubb got hurt.
Yeah.
And then I literally heard the crowd roar. Yeah. And I saw the pain on his face, and I thought that was, and then they were just nasty fans, man. They used to say some crazy stuff.
Oh yeah, they do.
And then the Hail Mary that they beat us with. So that senior year, that 41-0 was very personal.
Yeah.
And that's what majority of that class had with us. But we had a lot of memories of how y'all beat us in the past. So if this our last year, it's gonna be some 41-0, it's gonna be some 41-6s. Like, we're gonna go out with a bang. So I think it's Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
Well, yeah, that too, man. And I mean, just that whole year. But I think back to in Atlanta, Georgia, Thanksgiving weekend. And of course, Paul Johnson's still at Tech. They're running the flex bone, the triple option then. And I see, just as a regular fan, y'all coming up and like stacking. Didn't you have like the middle linebackers were stacked? And then how was that? How it changed playing the flex bone then? And I mean, shut them down at 17, then at 18 too. And to me, those two Georgia defensive performances there just killed the flex bone offense right there.
Yeah, for sure. Oh man, you gotta think about it like this. It's how we started off, this show with the attention to detail.
Mm-hmm.
So we practice for Georgia Tech every week. We're gonna do a period. Right. So it's like if I start them off in camp where one day is dedicated to the flex, I can cover more ground than wait until we play them and trying to get the script in from Monday to Friday. We play on Saturday.
Right.
So just knowing, Coach Smart is, you can steal a rep. And what I mean by steal a rep is just because you're not in the game, you can steal a rep. Just because you're not in practice, you could be on the sideline and steal a rep.
Yep. Right.
Just like in real life, on your job, if you're trying to really be the CEO or the boss of the job, and you got to take somebody's job, sometimes you may got to be on a plane and you got to, pull out that book and steal a rep.
Yep. Yeah.
So we just continue to steal reps every day where in camp. 1 week, for Georgia Tech. Week 1, we're not even playing Georgia Tech. Week 10, we get ready for Mississippi State. But one of those days going to be for Georgia Tech.
Right.
And it just went on to all the way to about the time we got to week 10, and now we fully focusing on Georgia Tech. We just stole so many reps. We probably done went through their whole playbook.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it showed, man.
Yeah,
It was phenomenal. It was, everybody knew their assignment. They were right there, and they could not move.
And I'm going to tell you something.
Beautiful.
I'm going to tell you something. That was probably the most satisfying.
Oh, it was so satisfying.
We just watched it like everybody stay on your key and just, you just blew it up.
Man.
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
I still remember sitting in the upper deck of Bobby Dodd Field just going crazy watching just that.
That was great.
And offense just be shut down.
Bro, he used to during those times, the scout team is trying to take your knees out in practice. And we used to be so mad, like, Coach, like, we got a game Saturday. We practicing for Georgia Tech on Monday. You got this guy diving at, my ACLs. And he used to literally tell them, Prather, I want you to tear his ACL.
Yeah.
So by the time we got used to cutting block, by the time we got to Georgia Tech, we hadn't seen it all.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, Prather Hudson. I forgot about him.
Prather Hudson, yeah.
That's
Man.
right.
Hey.
More daddy.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some scout team heroes, man. There's some,
It is,
there's some
man. Yeah.
guys who challenge y'all. I know Stetson was one of them for the Rose Bowl practice.
for
We'll get to
sure.
that in just a second. But yeah, let's go the next week after that.
Yeah,
to Tech,
this
after Tech.
man, I'll tell you, Davin, as much as I absolutely love that Notre Dame play, my all-time favorite Davin Bellamy play has to be at the beginning of the second quarter in Atlanta for that 2017 SEC championship game when Auburn's threatening in the red zone to go up 14-0. And we know what happened to Jordan Hare a couple weeks before that, but you getting Jared Stidham and causing that turnover again, and that changes. To me, that swings the game.
Yeah,
That swings it.
You had the block field goal and everything as well as that, but that turnover right there, man, was just it was huge.
Yeah,
it was absolutely huge, and I still remember just leaping over a rail right then and there up in the upper deck of Mercedes-Benz after you made that play. But yeah, just that game, win the SEC championship against a rival like Auburn. But I pinpoint that play. It was at the beginning of the second quarter, wasn't it? I mean, literally right at like maybe the 13-minute mark of the second quarter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was, man. Yeah, for sure. They was about to go up 14-0. They had just beat the dog crap out of us a couple weeks before. Yeah. And we took that, very personally. I remember being in the weight room. We just kept replaying Gus Malzahn's, video, and we didn't play music. And we just knew that maybe we went into that, Auburn game a little bit on our high horse, thinking that we can just show up and beat people because we was the number one team. And we wasn't used to, no matter how much we tried, to act like it. Georgia was getting a lot of attention around that time. We was number one for the first time in a long time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think guys were we were feeling ourselves a little bit. And, man, that was a tough game to play. So we definitely had that game marked. They finna go up 14-0. And when they was driving so easy that, that it's that little doubt voice of, started to creep in on the sideline about either they was running the ball, because they had ran the ball down our throat, the game before, and they was doing it again. So then I looked down and it started creeping in the back of the mind of, can we beat this team? Like these boys coming out hot and they're not doing nothing tricky. Right. They just running the ball on us. So it's just a macho thing at this point. Mm-hmm. And then, man, I just remember it was a blitz call, and I had to stay outside. I mean, I can't make a, inside move. But the blitz that was called is, I could rush high. Mm-hmm. That's why you kind of seen me do the little fish hook and come back down, because we wanted to create the illusion of Lorenzo drops here, Davin rush high here. From the pocket to the quarterback, it looks like that the right side is open, and you got the guy on the backside doing the fish hook, and the quarterback is going to roll out this way, and I can come behind and get the ball out. So honestly, it was a great play call. It was a great, play call to manipulate the pocket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's my job to rush high. It's your job to step back and create the illusion like the edge is there, and it worked out, perfectly, man. And luckily, man, we did a great job of getting fumbles that year. We was like 2 for 2 on fumbles, man. That's what people don't forget too. Like you gotta recover the fumbles in order for these stories to have any magic to them. The ball gotta be recovered. So we used to recover a lot of penalties, but the funniest thing about Coach Smart, he used to always say, every time you force a fumble, you always run towards midfield before you even know if we got the ball or not. How about you? He didn't even celebrate with me on that. He just said, how about instead of celebrating, you're going to try to get on the ball?
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, I love it, man.
Oh, that's great.
But that play right there, I mean, that swung it. And then, of course, the finals 28-7.
28-7.
God,
on a 28-0 run.
Yep.
Sweet game.
And
I think back to that play. That night when I think about that game, I mean, there's so many, of course, great plays that happen, but that's the one I think back to, man. And I think without that play, who knows where, like the Notre Dame game, what happens after that if that play doesn't happen, right?
Yeah.
So,
and it had to have been special for you to have played in Atlanta. It's the first game that Georgia played in the dome, or the Benz. It had to be special for you too. That's your hometown. I know we call Atlanta anything within a 20, 30-minute radius is Atlanta to us. I know it's not for people in Atlanta, but essentially though, in your hometown. So that had to have been special for you. Big game for you and for the team. So what was that kind of like afterwards? Because you're at the top of the mountaintop right now. We're going to the college football playoff for the first time in school history. What was that like before the Rose Bowl, leading up to the Rose Bowl? What were those practices like? I know what they were like because that's when we got one of the greatest Kirby Smart speeches of all time.
Right, for sure, for sure.
That was an awesome moment. But tell us about how you had to kind of get back off the mountain and get back to reality for a little bit, because you had a big game coming up against Oklahoma.
Right, man. We when we lost to Auburn after being the number 1 team, that was our humble pie. Mm-hmm. And that's all we needed, and we were locked in, and we knew that we're not perfect, and we knew that we could be beat, and that's why once we got a momentum, we just dominated Auburn. So when we left that game, it's the same rules. Win, lose, or draw. You got 48 hours.
Yep.
When you get back in that building on Monday, this game don't exist, and Coach Smart is probably not going to be telling you how good you did in the Monday team meeting. And that's just how it was, But we just putting those T-shirts on, seeing that confetti fall down, doing it in the Georgia uniform. It was special, man. I do say that, just to see how much winning impacts so many people's lives. When you're on that field, when the confetti is falling down, you see the kids running around, you see the wives, you see the whole support staff, you see the camera people. Everybody's so happy, man. And it's like, man, this is a very special moment. We brought Georgia the SEC championship since 2003. And just to look at our coach was so happy as people, taking pictures. And I think we finally realized this is what Coach Smart was talking about.
Right.
Wow.
When you win, it's a beautiful thing. You don't have to be a me guy. You don't have to stick out with your uniforms or fancy cliques. If you win, you can get all the attention you want. And that's when it finally, when the confetti fell for that moment, it was like, Coach Smart was right.
Mm-hmm.
He was right.
Dang.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool. I get goosebumps.
Well, we got a big portrait right now, like right beside the desk that we're at, of y'all holding up the trophy with the confetti coming down.
Man, that's
right
dope,
there.
man.
So, yeah, I'm looking at it right now. That was awesome.
It's a good moment.
Man,
That's dope.
good.
Yeah, it was, man. And you came back with your brothers and did it.
Yeah.
Like you came back with your brothers and we did it. And like that whiteboard that y'all got behind y'all. In springtime, all the names of the teams were run up there. And we had a checklist. And just like the story, you know, I talked about, like, you know, we were hitman. And every week we caught a revenge tour. We would check off the team. Y'all caught the Hail Mary last year or the year before? 41-0. Okay, y'all, what's it called? Okay, 41-6.
Yep.
Like, it was like we was really like on a mission. So that was beautiful.
It
Oh,
was.
yeah.
Yeah, you avenged the one loss in the regular season. To Alabama.
Yeah.
Was
Or
amazing.
not Alabama, Auburn. But yeah.
Yeah, that Florida game too. Real quick, I could talk. I know, but we got to get to the big one here. But that Florida game was so sweet for me because I've grown up going to Jacksonville and just had so many heartbreaks in the early 2000s. Just to see just a beat down.
Yeah.
That
Beat
Curve
down.
stomped him, man.
and just, I mean, Felipe Franks just ran for his life all day with y'all.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, man, that was
They beat us here before too, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah, 16.
yeah,
Yep.
they sure did.
Yeah.
That
See,
is right,
man, we
yeah.
was
The Red's
yeah,
tour,
like,
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
everybody got it.
Yeah,
Like,
That's right. Oh
sure.
man, that was sweet.
Yeah. Vandy definitely got it. Forget
Oh, you
about
dang
Vandy.
right. They did.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, it got ugly up there. Oh my gosh! All right, so let's talk about the big one, the Rose Bowl. What was that experience like for you, Davin, as a player to go out? I mean, I think it's college football's best venue, if I'm being honest. I mean, it
For
is
sure.
it is just freaking awesome in so many different ways. But being there that night, it was magical. I know Adam can echo this. I can echo this. Anybody who went out there to Pasadena that night and witnessed that game, it's something we'll never forget.
Man.
So what was it like as a player for you to go out there to experience that? I mean, it's a step up. Let's be honest. It's a step up from Memphis, Tennessee in the Liberty Bowl the year before.
No question. Well, first, I think that was either the first or second year of the college kind of football playoff, but it was the Final Four back then, right? Or something like that.
Right.
But so we was out there a little longer, just because of the new format. So it was like a whole ordeal in California of all these events we had to go to. And I think, in my opinion, that's why we started off slow. It's because like we were just in California for like 3-4 days having to go to events and you know, everything that comes with, you know, California. But I think it was just the whole ordeal, man. You're in Cali. We're, like you said, we're not in the Belt Bowl. Like, we the Georgia team that's in the Final Four. Like, we're not at the Belt Bowl. We're not at the Liberty Bowl. We're not at the Tax Slayer Bowl, baby. We the Bulldogs, and we in the Final Four at the Rose Bowl. Like, so, like, you just wanted to enjoy that moment. You know, like, come on, man. Like, Georgia's in the Rose Bowl after everybody saying we can't win the big one. And you've been hearing this, especially me. This is my 5th year here. I done seen it all. And to be this your 5th year, you in the Rose Bowl as a Final Four.
Yep.
Like, man, we practicing with the mountains behind us. Like our buses were state of the art. Our pictures are on downtown buildings in California. Like, you know what? We listened to Coach Smart, and it was hard work. It was hard work to get here. But when we got to Cali, it was like, you know what? That hard work it took, this is worth it. And we doing whatever that man say because he's right. You know, however we feel, he's right. But I just look at that game, man. We playing Baker Mayfield, the Heisman Trophy winner. We got Raquan Smith, the Buckus Award winner, and they going head to head. It's just a beautiful matchup for TV. We was ready for the moment. You know, we felt like we was that team that was, you know, everybody's favorite team a little bit that year because nobody expected Georgia to do that. So if you didn't want to root for Georgia, You was gonna root for us a little bit, man. It's a whole bunch of guys, and the Baker Mayfield thing, man. We landed, and he had a big old sign called, Pretenders. We saw that, outside the bus. All the credit he was getting, and us taking it personal on defense, knowing that we've been knocking quarterbacks out the game. So you've been playing good, but I know you've seen our tape, and I take my hat off to him because, man, he's just a competitor. And we couldn't break him. Like, we broke, Fitzgerald, from Mississippi.
Right.
We broke, Felipe Franks. Yep. We couldn't break him, man. Yeah. Now, and I take my hats off to him, but I think he crossed the line a little bit of where the game came, personal was pregame. The wide receiver are doing, routes on the air, and Terry Godwin runs in and says, Baker Mayfield has crossed the 50-yard line, and that's a no-no, warm-ups. Right. He crossed the 50, went into Georgia's, end zone, and literally got in front of the wide receivers doing pat and go with his headphones on, so disrespectful.
Right.
So, the wide receivers, man, they come in and you tell the enforcers of the team. If you got a good team, then you enforce it on the D-line if you got a good team. So he come back, can you say, Bell, man, y'all see what he out there doing? I say, nah. I say, man, you got to jump in front of our line, man. Y'all need to do this to him, And we go out there, man, they hit us with that
that old reverse pass.
And they hit us with that. See, we from the SEC, man.
Yeah.
We ain't really seen teams go this fast and just sling it around the yard.
Yeah. I'll never forget that, Davin. When pregame, I very vividly remember Baker was in that end zone, like you were describing, amongst our receivers. And sure enough, they had some guy, I guess is like a assistant, whatever, manager, throwing him passes. I mean, as if he were a receiver. Yeah. And sure enough, little did we know they're actually setting up a play later that they would use against us to score a touchdown.
This is
wild,
good stuff too, with the backstory of where the humble yourself.
I love
that. I love it. That's awesome.
So I mean, the talk. I never would have said that if he would have, like Greg Williams, call it, respected the rules of engagement.
Right.
You just don't cross the 50. You can talk all the trash you want, but now it's starting to get a little bit, extra. And we just didn't expect them to come out with that Big 12 type of ball and just sling that thing around. And, we from the SEC. We ain't really played no top quarterbacks and CeeDee Lambs and Marquise Brown and
Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews on the offense. You don't got that in the SEC. You got a Orlando Brown at right tackle.
Yeah.
You don't see that in the SEC, man. So,
that's true.
But this one I knew that team was different, though, man. We get into halftime, and we're down. I don't remember the score, but it was so calm.
Mm-hmm.
No yelling. Coach Smart got on the board, showed the adjustments. Everybody just in there chilling. All right, man, y'all know what we got to do. That's the worst half we ever played. Defense too good. We appreciate y'all. Offense for having our back. Defense, we know we too good for this. Right now, we're just playing as the outlier of the doubt. I guarantee you we can go out there and try to have a bad half, and we won't play as bad as we played the first half. So let's just go back, and the regression of the mean of this defense is going to balance back.
Yeah.
That just is what it is. And we end up doing that, and the offense stayed the same. But I think that game was won at, halftime, just how, calm we were.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to be in there, Davin, and you're not joking. Like, I tell people this. I went in there because we had to change out. Y'all were using the old school projectors at the time. I think Coach Tucker wanted the Visa pen or whatever. And anyway, we had to set that. That was my job on game day, mine and Baylor's. Anyway, we set that up, and I was just expecting everybody to come in raging. Oh my gosh, we're down, we're getting killed, yada yada yada. No, it was like nobody. It's almost like it's just like whatever, let's just move on. And to have that kind of composure in the middle of a game, a huge game, mind you. I mean, we're not talking about like Georgia, I don't know, Middle Tennessee State at home. We're talking about a college football playoff game, semifinal in the Rose Bowl. For y'all to have been that composed at halftime, man, you're right. I think the game was won at halftime because you come out and you play with your hair on fire, and the defense gets after Baker Mayfield, with something we couldn't do in the first half. Y'all cause havoc, and you scrap and you claw your back way into that game.
It was beautiful. It's the best football game I've ever seen in my life.
Nah, but remember what I told you though? Remember what I told you? I know like this comparison, it sounds crazy, but I watch a lot of documentaries on, serial killers. They're missing the part of their brain that shows emotion.
Yeah.
So, like I said in the beginning of this show, now it's about week 13 when we're talking about postseason play, year 2 of Coach Smart. We have the minds of, that emotion of, oh my God, what's going on?
Yep.
The job still isn't done.
Right.
We still got 2 more quarters.
That's right.
Stay composed and go out there and do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah. And that's the thing, man. Like fans, and I'm guilty of this myself. Like I've never played Division I football, but I don't look like I could either, by any stretch. By any stretch. But
we're built to be in the stands.
Yeah. but we as fans, man, like people out there. I think we do a better job than a lot of people out there. But there's a lot of fans, they just freak out, and it's like, yes, they're allowed to do that. Everybody has their own opinion and takes. I get that, but my point is, they think that should be the way that a football team operates, right? And that's not even close. Like you can't get, like you said earlier, you can't get too high and you can't get too low. You got to be even kill, and you just got to go do your job every single play. And I know that sounds super cliche, but that's how y'all won that Rose Bowl. You came back with that mentality. So I don't know, man, it's wild. That game was crazy. So we tied it up, right, going into overtime. What was that feeling like? I mean, were you just like, did you ever get nervous when you were there?
No, yeah, we did. Like when Sony fumbled, I think we thought, like I say, doubt always gonna creep into mind.
Yeah.
And we've all played enough football at that point to know that the time and the possessions that are left in this game are dwindling down with the time and the possessions of he just fumbled. We got to get the ball back. They got to score. You start kind of counting possessions time. And I forgot what happened. I know we got the ball back. After he fumbled, then we get a pick.
Dominic Sanders pick.
Dominic Sanders.
There was old Dom Sanders.
And man, you know what? I just feel like that year everybody did their job.
Yeah.
It was my job to close it. It was Lorenzo Carter's job to be the freak that's all over the field and make freakish plays. It was McQuan's job to be who he was. We're filtering everything to you. Don't miss tackles. And he didn't miss tackles, right? It was the D-line job, Big John Atkins, to keep McQuan clean. It was Dom's job to do what he's been doing since he's been at Georgia. Right. And that's to not be Jamal, Adams in the run game, but Dom's job was to change the game, being a ball hawk. And it was DeAndre Baker's job to, if this guy's giving us problems, go lock him down. We ended up putting DeAndre Baker on Marquise Brown the second half, and we stopped on the drag routes. We stopped running zone and went man second half. And I remember them saying, D. Baker, you just got Marquise Brown. So Dom did his job, and that's the best thing about that team was everybody did their job.
That's right.
Dom ended up getting the pick, which he's been doing all year. DeAndre Baker shut down, Marquise Brown, the second half. Raquan played amazing in the overtime. And then Lorenzo Carter did freakish-like things of being all over the field by blocking the field goal. And that game was epitome of everybody just did their job. But I did get nervous. But like I say, revert back to doing your job.
That's right.
Do your job. I heard that a lot.
You heard that a lot.
Just as a manager, I heard that so many times that year. Do your job. And you're right. Everybody had a part. And that's the thing that's instilled. I mean, literally from people like me who are just holding a camera out there to the players, to the coaches, to nutrition. Do your job. And that is what I think has changed the culture at Georgia. No doubt about it.
Absolutely.
That Rose Bowl was just amazing. So let's do you have anything else you want to say?
That's all. That was awesome stuff. It was one of the best nights of my life. I'll never forget.
Awesome.
I love that game. And like, I grew up watching the USC and Texas game. I remember being a little kid, man, sitting in the living room and we watching the Rose Bowl. And how that aesthetic of the old ABC.
Yeah.
Yep.
Keith
And
Jackson
like,
on there.
and like the yellow scoreboard at the bottom, and then your TV looks smoky.
Yep.
Yeah.
There is a haze. I promise. Yeah, there was a haze that night when we were playing.
That when we got in overtime, and I'm really like, wow, there are people on the lawn.
Yeah.
And I remember I'll never forget this moment because it's probably the only game I ever like realized what's going on. Like that game, we sitting there and I'm like looking around, and I just remember being that kid watching Vince Young and USC and how the TV looked smoky.
Yeah.
And then when I looked around, I said, wow, this looks smoky.
Yeah.
Like that was the first time ever in my life. It's like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And that's what I always remember about that game is, oh, it really is smoky out here.
It actually is, yeah. It's not some like green screen effect. Yeah, it was hazy, man. Yeah.
It's hazy, bro. It's crazy.
And I'll never forget too about that night. I'm sure all of us we saw this and witnessed this and remember this. But like when we lit up, for the fourth quarter, Crypt and Fanfare, the band, everything. When those lights went up in the air, the cell phone lights. I don't know, man. I got goosebumps.
Yeah.
And then also one more thing. I don't know. Look, Coach Tucker's speech. That pregame, I'm not even going to lie to you. I shed a tear. It was like,
I don't even remember
my God,
it.
this is just good stuff, man. I'm not going to lie. I shed a tear. I was in the back. I was like, holy crap. I want to run through a brick wall right now.
I shed a tear at that game too. Davin
said one too. He's not going to lie.
No, you know what's crazy is the first drive, they went so fast, right? The first drive, they went so fast. It's a true story, though. First drive, they went so fast. They threw it to the tight end that played for the Ravens. I went to hit him, and I got a concussion. And they was doing the hurry up. And now my body's on complete.
Wow.
Literally, it's like, autopilot.
Dang,
man.
When I get to this, I don't remember the 3 plays, because they scored fast on the first drive.
Yep.
Right.
I don't remember them scoring. They just was going, hurry up. I got a full concussion.
Man.
I get to the sideline. I remember sitting down with Zoe, and Zoe breathing hard, and we like, okay, just scored in 4 plays. And I looked at the scoreboard, and I looked at Zoe. I said, wait, they scored? And Zoe was like, yeah, what are you talking about? But I don't remember that speech because I had a full-blown concussion on the first drive and don't remember the 3 plays that happened after that game. It didn't took me to fully be back where we were to the next series. But that first part of that game, I remember nothing until I watched the game of that's what happened, after, I hit him.
Dang.
No, that's crazy though. Yeah, for sure.
Dang,
That's
Mark
amazing,
Andrews,
man.
Yeah. He was a beast.
Yeah, Mark Andrews, man. He was a big dude, man.
Yeah.
So if you go back and watch the game, watch the first drive, they throw it to him. I go low on him, and his knee hit me in the helmet. I get up. They do hurry up. From that point on to about the second series, I didn't even know what was going on. My body was just on autopilot, literally.
Man,
wild,
that's
dude.
amazing.
Wow.
Amazing.
And you would have never known that. I mean, like, had you not said that, nobody would probably.
That's crazy, right?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, those injuries are no joke. I mean, I got one of those in middle school.
No, did you?
Middle school.
Oh, yeah.
Playing against little 5'5" white boys my size. That's a different ball game right there.
Dude, the hardest concussion I ever got, the hardest running back, this only time I've ever been struck in my life, Brandon Douglas at practice.
Seriously?
Remember Brandon Douglas?
Oh, yeah.
My God. Oh, my God. He struck me so bad, man. Shout out Brandon Douglas. I've never been hit like that in my life, pro football or not, the way he struck me. That was crazy.
He really would. He was a walking, hit stick.
Man.
God, dude, yeah. He could he ran over people all throughout his career. I remember Missouri
Literally.
game in 14. I mean, he was trucking people, but
that is awesome, man.
That's good stuff. That Rose Bowl win, man, yeah. I mean, we could sit here and talk about it for hours. The celebration, though, what was that like? I know you you went over to Baker and said humble yourself, and we know that story.
Great moment.
But I mean, what was it like just sitting there, confetti falling, knowing the next game you play is in the national championship in the Benz, in your hometown, your home state? What was that feeling like? Because I know that had to have been a little bit different than winning the SEC championship. Now it's, oh my gosh, we got one more to go, and we're going to win this thing. So what was that feeling like?
I think the celebration was a little bit more short-lived for the Rose Bowl. We had a long flight back.
Yeah.
And we had to get back. We had to fight, those hours because we losing or we gaining or whatever. And, Coach Smart, when that speech came, he put us back in full pads fresh off the plane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No wasting time.
So, no wasted time. So, I mean, I didn't expect the humble yourself thing to go viral. I didn't know the guy was live. I just saw it, bro. And I don't think, bro, he didn't want to shake hands or something.
Yeah.
I seen him walking by. He was just, that game and all week, he was just doing the most. And I love trash talking, but like I say, man, there are rules, for engagement.
Sure.
And he just kind of, took it too far. And I didn't know that it was a live mic. Coach Smart wasn't too fond of that. I think he thought that I literally did that on TV, but it was just a live, hot mic.
Yep.
But we really couldn't, celebrate because we had to get back on the plane and go 4 back hours back to Georgia and get ready to play. Bama that weekend. I think they changed the rules to where now that week is off. You play the game before.
Yeah, it was a 6-day
later.
I think it was a 6-day turnaround, which I want to say, I could be wrong, that's the shortest turnaround in the college football playoff era. So, I mean.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
for sure.
I know Alabama, they had to face the same thing, right? Like they had to get back, and they had just as many days to prepare too. But
where they playing at though?
They're in New Orleans.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's
So
right.
they had less travel. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they'll have to go all the way from Los Angeles.
And you got to realize too, the game was over with the double overtime. So the game is over at like 12:30. Man, we on the plane before the red eye.
Right.
That's right.
So we didn't sleep in our beds that night.
Yeah.
By the time we flew to Georgia, it's morning, the plane was all asleep.
Right.
And then he put us in full pads or shells. As soon as we land, we got practice at 2:55.
Right.
Like, oh my God, dude. But like I said,
calm down.
man, but that's kind of when you realize, and I love bringing, football all the way back to life. When you want anything great, it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I remember being physically, emotionally, mentally tired.
Yeah.
But you got to look in the mirror and say, one more day.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got one more week.
Yep.
Let's take it one more day. Let's take it rep by rep. Not just the football players. I mean, the video staff. Everybody was tired, but if you want to be great, man, it's some sacrifices that you got to take, and sometimes it's sanity.
Yeah.
And, we started that practice, and practice was so sluggish. You got guys fresh off the plane. We tired. We went full pass. We just went in a double, overtime game, and we back out here, and I don't want to hit these dudes. I don't want to hit these people at practice, man. I'm beat up.
Yeah.
But that man stopped practice, started it all the way back home.
I'm telling you, Coach Smart's built different. I mean,
he's
truly.
built different.
He really is.
He's built different.
Yeah.
He's built different, but he turns you into, man, life don't care.
Yeah.
That's
So,
right. Man.
I
That's a
mean,
good point.
look, y'all won a national championship. I don't care that you over here saying you feel sorry for yourself because you off this flight, XYZ, man. It's time to work.
Yeah.
You say you want to ring, you want to eat, don't you? And that's where I want you to eat.
Yeah.
And where the video don't start at is he say, I got my rings.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm showing y'all what it takes.
That's
I got my rings. I want you to eat. I want you to eat. Baby, I want you to get a ring. I want you to get a ring, but I got mine.
Yeah.
Right.
So y'all start off, this practice sluggish and don't want to, are you feeling sorry for yourself? Stop all that.
Yeah.
I'm showing you how to get a ring.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Gosh. Yeah, that speech, holy crap. That was
Yeah, that speech got us going, man.
Yeah.
No, for real.
yeah. I did not leak that. There were some people that thought I leaked that because years earlier, I don't know if you know this, but in 2018 we played South Carolina on the road, whatever. I took a picture, Snapchatted it, and it ended up on Twitter somehow.
Oh, man.
Anyway, all that to say, everybody thought that I had leaked that the next year.
Thought you leaked it.
I was like, no, I didn't have anything to do with that. But I do remember that speech because I was in the catwalk. It was late night, I think, right? Or something. I don't know. It was just dark outside from what I remember. And I remember
later practice.
Yeah, and I remember just stopping in my tracks because things got serious and things got quiet. And when things got quiet, Kirby was about to say something good. So
that man could command a room. That man could command a room, man.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, going with the next week, man. I think about golly that game and how exciting that was. Georgia, Alabama, and Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and things that stick out in my mind, man, is there were some times you absolutely rocked Jalen Hurts and Tua's world.
Yeah, we did.
And specifically a couple sacks I remember you having too, man. And then going back to that point of guys like you who just have a knack for making a big play at a big time, people forget that you were the one who made the sack before 2nd and 26 right there.
Yeah.
And just how big of a hit that was. And, that happens. That's football. I don't want to, talk about that. I can't even imagine the heartbreak that y'all felt, man. But that team was so dang fun to watch as a diehard fan who I was fortunate enough to get to travel and watch y'all all the way through that year. And it's still just, even though, we've seen Georgia win in 21 and win in 22, that Rose Bowl and those regular season games beat down in Tennessee and Florida, the Notre Dame trip we talked about, the SEC championship, holds such a special place to me in the memories I made with my loved ones watching y'all and just how much fun it was that, and then how it built to what we enjoy today and still get to enjoy is just, it's special, man. And, I know we've been on here with you for a while, and Clark, if you have some more to add about that, but I really want to get, before we let Davin go, ask him some more questions in the sense of, do you want to start with anything, or do you want me to lead into that then?
What do you have?
I just want to talk with him, man. I mean, only a small percentage of people get to play Division I SEC football, but then an even smaller percentage of people get to go on and play in the NFL as well and experience the time you did in the NFL. What was your welcome to the NFL moment, and what was that like after your time at Georgia? And then you're like, man, I'm in the freaking NFL, and that only not even, I don't know, shoot, percent of the population can even say that.
Very small. Very
So, I mean, the stories you have from that. So can you share some of your time, in pro football and in the NFL?
Yeah, man. I feel like God, He works in mysterious ways, right? I had a 3rd round grade when I was coming out, and I ended up falling to, being undrafted. So by the time the 7th round came, I had about 28 teams that I could have chose, to go to. If I choose another team, I'm probably in the NFL now. I chose to go to the Texans. Just not knowing how an undrafted player should choose a team. Right. You should choose a team where you can go play right away.
Yeah.
When I chose to go to the, Texans, it was J.J. Watt, Javion Clowney, and Whitney Merciless was literally in my room.
Oh, that's awesome.
Dang.
So it was hard to play defensive end. Of course.
Yeah. Jeez.
And so all those guys were there until, 3-4 years later. But I say God works in mysterious ways because I left from Coach Smart, and I speak, so highly about him. And then I get into a place with J.J. Watt, who I think is, I met, Kobe Bryant one time. And I think J.J. Watt mentally is the closest person to that. And just for my welcome to the NFL moment, it's nothing really on the field because, I dominated at the camps. You got to be a better pass rusher because you're up there with more skilled guys. But once you catch up with the tricks of the trade of, what the vets got, your moves won't work. And I think my welcome to the NFL moment was, just coming from Georgia. We was like a family in the locker room. But the NFL worked a little different, especially with J.J. Watt. So my welcome to the NFL moment is I'm walking in the hallway and I walk past J.J. Watt in this narrow hallway, and I speak to him in the morning and he doesn't speak. Like I'm not even there.
Dang.
And at the time, this is the same team with Javion Clowney, Tyrann Matthews, DeAndre Hopkins, DJ Reader, Jonathan Joseph, Kareem Jackson. The names just go on. Demarius Thomas. So this team had a lot of guys, but one thing I learned in the NFL is greatness, and we had slick learners from Coach Smart, but the J.J. Watt is greatness respects hard work, no matter what level you're on. Like, it didn't make sense. So I'm talking to DJ Reed. I'm like, bro, I just spoke to J.J. Watt. I don't think J.J. Watt liked me. He said, you know what? J.J. Watt don't speak to people unless he see how you work.
Wow.
So you're invisible to him if he don't recognize how you work.
Right.
Dang.
Right? And the welcome to the NFL moment was, it got to the point to where now J.J. Watt kind of became my mentor.
Right.
And I always say I never got the chance to fulfill the NFL career I wanted to have. But being one of the guys, I know this gonna sound so crazy, but being one of the guys that when J.J. Watt walked in the morning and said, "Good morning, Bill."
That's awesome.
Dang.
That's cool.
That is, you know what? That overrides everything the money can't pay for that. J.J. Watt and Javion Clowney kind of bumped heads because one guy was hella serious. So it didn't matter. It didn't matter who you were. He just respected how a man worked.
Yeah.
And I was the Houston Texans for 3 years. And by year 3, it's good morning, Bill.
Yeah.
And I was on the list, he gave out his sneakers. And so that was my welcome to the NFL moment, to where it was like, you know what? One of the greatest people, mentally wise, playing your position wise. By the time you left him, he had respect for you.
Yeah.
Dang right.
Enough to speak to you.
Yeah.
And that's what I really enjoyed.
That's cool, man.
That's awesome.
Dang, that's a cool
awesome.
story.
That is awesome, man.
That he saw that in you too, man.
He saw that, but it took what I learned from Coach Smart. Just consistent discipline of doing your job every day.
Yep.
And J.J. Watt, and that's why I say Coach Smart, he prepares you for life. Just doing your job every day. Not trying to do too much, not trying to be too loud. Just do your job. And I go from J.J. Watt not speaking to me to I'll be able to walk up on him at, any time of the day, him saying good morning to me. Oh, you're not going to speak to me today, Bill? Like, you know what? I've earned the respect from J.J. Watt.
You dang right.
It's kind of like nothing nobody can tell me. Because that's a tough dude to even get a good morning out of if you don't respect how you work.
Yeah.
Literally.
Dang.
That's good stuff.
That's cool, man.
Well, again, and Davin, real quick too, I just want to ask too, man, for somebody who's lived it, been in the NFL, been the great career you had at the University of Georgia, you now in the year 2026, looking back and seeing, could you have ever thought that the college game would be at where it's at now after you left in 2017, just seeing just the landscape of it? What would your advice be, and the ones you talk to, these guys trying to make a decision? I mean, I can only imagine the money that's being offered to them. Even guys trying to make a decision that's maybe been on the same, at the same school for 2 years about entering the portal.
Right.
What's your thoughts on that? I know there might be just different, each individual has a different scenario, but what's kind of your general thoughts on your advice to, especially outside linebackers or any players now that's living in that?
Man, I kind of saw it, coming a little bit, especially at Georgia. My last year, you started to have, rappers on the sideline. So now the way the SEC is, teams are going to want to compete with that. So now teams are trying to get a little bit outside of their tradition. And now when we went to Cali and we had TMZ outside our buses, you kind of seen like, okay, now college football players are starting to, they're starting to kind of be pros a little bit. So you can kind of see the money coming. I wouldn't expect it to be like it is now. Now that I'm 31 years old, I'm on the other side of football. I realized that it's harder to figure out what you want to do after football than it is to go pro.
Mm. Yeah.
Guys don't commit suicide when they don't make it to the league. They do that when the league is done. They can't figure out what's next.
Yeah.
Right.
So in reality, it may be hard to figure out what you want to do when the game stops.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think when we weren't getting paid, we understood that the game is going to stop.
Mm-hmm.
So we took advantage of the relationships that you have in Georgia.
Yep.
You took, pride in not, I can speak for myself, not just being a football player, in the classroom. Talk to all your team. All your classmates. And I still talk to some classmates, to this day that are doing things, but you always know that you may need these people when, football is done. And there wasn't a lot of transferring. So I was at Georgia for 5 years, and I, appreciate the memories, you say, I gave you guys, and I really do, appreciate that. But that helps me with a little favor when it's trying to, get stuff done.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Now guys don't have that because they don't have a home where they can lay their hat on.
Yeah.
Right. If you go to 3 different schools in 5 years, when you're done playing ball, you can't go back to Georgia and say, can I do Georgia media?
Right.
Or you can't go back to the school you're at. So, but they're not thinking about that now because why?
Yeah.
I got $850,000 in my account.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but what they don't realize is if you would have told me when I left the Bama game, my agent called me and said they got you going second round. You got 2 sacks in the net. You had a great playoff, had a great senior season. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even though you're making this money now, you don't know what life got in store for you. And the NFL is not promised for nobody.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah.
So you end up burning these bridges because you're young with money.
It's true.
I mean, you're young with some money and some fast cars. You're not really thinking about relationships like we were.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the advice I would give kids, and which I do when I try to talk to them, is I never want to be like, look, man, NFL may not work. Man, I hope it do, but you got to realize that I think guys now should have a team that's surrounding them to make financial smart decisions, investments. And I think it should be a cap. I don't think a college guy at 19 years old, I don't think nobody in the world should be 19 years old with $4 million.
That's right. That's a good point.
Like you take out football player, you take out nobody.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be making wise decisions and thinking about.
I know I wouldn't be.
Come on, let's be for real about the situation. Let's be for real about the situation.
Yeah,
That's
for real.
exactly right.
And there needs to be a cap because you're giving all these kids money, and money is truly the root of all evil. And you're dealing with all that at 19. Even when we look at the Brendan Shorsby thing.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Bro, I'm bored, and I got $2 million in my account. I'm bored. I'm on the couch. I might throw $500 on something just because I got $500 to waste.
Yeah.
What other 19, 20-year-old with $2 million in their account won't do that?
Right.
So
That's a good point.
When you start throwing in all this money to them, you're going to give these kids money problems.
True.
Right.
So I think it got to be a cap, man, and just got to be a cap, man. It has to be a cap.
Yeah.
Man.
We got to fix it, but
point.
I don't think I'm going to be the one. Adam, I don't think you
No.
will. Davin's probably way closer to us.
Well, the problem is how it's gotten to the point are people like you and me who are obsessed with this sport.
Yeah. We keep feeding the machine more money to give.
It's an addiction, man.
Nah.
It's such an addiction.
But you know what? A lot of the people say that players back when we played, it was like you had more. They got more money, but the players back in the day, they had more aura.
Right.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Like, dude, you're like, before, like, just picture, Todd Gurley is in your class. He steals, that's Todd Gurley.
Yep.
But you know that he's not unless he's getting paid under the table, you literally go like, that's just a student, athlete, just like me. He's riding the bus that we all got to ride.
Mm-hmm.
He got a scooter.
Yep.
So it's like, it adds a little bit more big man on campus. When you now, all the football players got G-Wagons, Mercedes. They barely go to class. Like, we used to go to frat party. We used to love being, like, the teacher. It's just the stuff they go through now, they're treated more like pros in college. So it takes away from the aura that they have because you're so disconnected from the average 19, 20-year-old.
True.
It would be a time in class that your classmate know, I got to ride this bus with Bellamy, and then I may see him tonight, and we're going to grab some beers. Yeah. Now kids going to be like, okay, when I leave school, I got $2 million. I'm finna go hop on a jet and go to Miami.
Yeah.
It's true.
That's right. That's a good point. Yeah.
For real, though, yeah.
100%.
I remember when I got to Georgia, one of my first days there, I saw Quavon Hicks and Bolton. I was like, holy crap. Like, Quavon, I knew the dude was jacked, but I was like, this guy. Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. And you're right. Like, there is aura associated with the older players, man. And
man. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Mine was Alec Ogletree.
It is.
Yours was Alec Ogletree?
Ogletree. I had a class with Alec Ogletree. And I was like,
that's cool.
You guys just built different.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome stuff, man. But, you're 100% right, Davin. And, before we go, we have got to ask you, man, what you think about this upcoming season. Especially, too, because it's your position, the outside linebackers, and just the linebackers room in general, the inside linebackers, too. I mean, the reports that we've gotten from how practice has gone so far, since this defense is going to be just very fun to watch. Again, just another good Kirby Smart defense, man. And so what's your thoughts about it?
I think they're going to be good, man. I think, they got a lot of gripe last year on the defensive side of the ball. It was a young defense, a lot of red shirt sophomores, true sophomores, and red shirt, freshmen out there. So in my opinion, I think they overachieved last year by going to the Sugar Bowl. You got a young team like that and they go that far, even though we was ranked almost last in sacks. I think that's better this year just because they're a year older.
Yeah.
And one thing I can always say about that 2017 defense is we played together from forever. Mm-hmm. Like we just a lot of those guys was on that Mike McDonald scout team. John Atkins and Aaron Davis was on that 2013 Mike McDonald scout team. So when you play with a defense or you play with a group for more than 3 years, it's just a different chemistry that money can't buy. Yep. And I think you got to look at it. I look at Leonard Floyd year one and where he was year three. Jordan Jenkins year one, where he was year three. Me and Lorenzo Carter year one and where we were in 2017. You just become a better football player when you have better reps. And Gabe Harris and Quentin Johnson, they played good last year. The only reason I don't say they played great is because I feel like they did their job almost too much. Sometimes you got to be a playmaker.
Yeah, right.
Right? So that is more sacks and not just tackles for 2-yard gains.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's get the ball out on the sack. Let's change the game and get an offensive ball instead of making it 3rd and 12 and not getting the ball out.
Yeah.
So I just want them to take that next step and become playmakers, but they didn't play bad. So I just think an older defense this year, Gabe Harris, Quinn Johnson, you got Amani Brooks, who had 2 sacks in the spring game, who looks like he's going to be really good. Rajan Wilson, my favorite player probably right now on the defense is Chris Cole.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I always say he's a shorter Leonard Floyd.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
Just all the multiple positions he played, he's the freakish guy. Like him and Flo got this bendy type of loose body athleticism that you don't really see, and they can play multiple positions. Then you matching that up with probably going to be the first DB off the board.
Yep. When
it comes to Ellis Robinson.
Yep. Yeah.
Last year, I think the rushing coverage didn't really work well together because you had a young back end and a young D line. Yeah. And in order to get sacks, you need your back end.
True.
In order to get picks, you need your front 7. to hurry some throws up. So that's going to be better this year because everybody's a year older.
Right.
And then this the guy, man, Elijah Griffin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think Elijah Griffin, I always say this, I said this so many times. He reminds me of Trent Thompson. He reminds me of Jalen Carter, Devontae Wyatt. Like one of those
Pretty good names.
Oh, no. I think if it pans out, and usually I'm not wrong when it comes to my D tackles, I think this guy top 10, top 15 pick.
Dang,
He's Trent Thompson, Jalen Carter is. So he played as a true freshman.
Yep.
This is sophomore year, man. So I think this defense is going to be really good. You got Gunner, and now his second full year playing. I think you open up the playbook for him this year. You got the running game, Nate Frazier, Chauncey Bourne, Dwight Phillips. This team been together for a long time. So what Georgia got on their side, which what a lot of teams don't have,
right,
is camaraderie. These guys been together for a long time. And people now in this age of college football, they are missing that. That steals win games, man.
Yeah.
That steals win games.
True.
Great point.
And, you saw it with Indiana last year. Those guys, obviously, a lot of them were James Madison my point is those guys have been playing football for longer than just a year together.
For sure.
And,
right.
They're old heads, but there's something to that. There's cohesion. There's chemistry when you've gotten a lot of reps with each other, not even just in games, but at practice. So
that's right.
I think there's definitely something to that. And that gives me some hope. When we hear an actual Division I football player say we're going to be good on defense,
that makes me fired up.
That validates what we've been saying.
That's right.
No, because honestly, if you would have asked me last year, do you think we won a national championship? I would have told you no.
Right.
Just too young.
Yeah.
Like if you think you finna win a national championship with a quarterback starting his first year, your whole defense, both your defensive ends, it's their first year starting, and you got a redshirt freshman DB.
Yep.
Is your DeAndre Baker on the team.
Yeah.
They may be a little bit wet behind the ears.
Right.
And so I'm being completely, honest with you. Did you would ask me last year, I would have told you no. They was playing with house money when they got to the playoffs. And I think Coach Smart and them knew that.
Right.
Like whatever game we won past the Elite Eight, or in my opinion, the SEC championship was house money because you playing with red shirt freshmen and true sophomores.
True.
Yeah.
And you still had an amazing regular season. You still won an SEC championship.
Exactly.
And here's what gets me, Davin. And you hear this, I know. And I know Adam and I hear it all the time. But you still have people complaining. It's just like, guys, we can't win
such a
every
spoiled
game.
fan base.
It's spoiled.
We're so
spoiled now.
Oh, my
He's
God.
spoiled now.
I know.
He's spoiled now. But you got to love it, though.
Oh,
You
yeah.
gotta love it.
Yeah, I love
you got to love it, though. You know that?
Yeah,
and that
right.
holds the players to a standard.
True.
Right.
And, you got to talk about the players that came in, after us. Well, we spoiled y'all. 21 spoiled you. 2020 spoiled you. So when you signed up to come play for Georgia, I compare it to like you playing for the Lakers.
Yeah.
It's championship or bust. The lights are brightest, when you play. It's a sold-out show.
Yep.
Wherever game you playing at.
Yep.
So when you sign up to come to Georgia, you get certain type of kids when they understand the pressure that I'm signing up for.
That's a
That's
great
point, man, because, it's especially in the SEC, man. Like, I grew up, I cared more about who the middle linebacker was at the University of Georgia than I did the Atlanta Falcons, right? Or Chipper Jones, right? Or more
And that's how it is now.
That's how it is now. It's just that's where we're at geographically. Across this, it is, and that's a great point.
Yeah,
great point.
Oh man. Well, this has been just great. We've had a great conversation.
It has been, man.
It's 11 o'clock at night. Davin,
I know.
We have overstayed our welcome, man.
Yeah.
We appreciate your time on this episode. I'm trying to think right quick. Any last thoughts about the season? Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, and I want you to, of course, talk about, again, what you got going on, plug what you're doing with Dog Nation again, everywhere everybody can find you, man, because after this, I know, and I'm sure a lot of people already are there following you, going to be doing it even more so, too, man. Just very awesome.
Man, I appreciate you guys, for asking me to jump on, man. And I see you guys have a lot of great guests on here, so, I'm humbled. that you guys, asked me to be on here, man. I really appreciate it. But no, man, I just think the expectations you had on these guys last year, I think they're more fitting for this year. I think this is Gunner's time to show what a full, prep of the offseason is going to do.
Yep.
And, he was working with the QB country Atlanta, who kind of, teaches the sidearm stuff. So I'm excited to see his new throwing motion this year. Just talking to the guy, it's gone from the elongated to more the short, Aaron Rodgers style. So I'm a big fan of Gunner. So, I'm ready to see what he does. And I think we have the recipe for, a national championship run. You need a solid quarterback that's not going to turn over the ball. And we know that's Gunner. Mm-hmm. We got a great running game, physical up front. I think the D-line, takes the next step. The back end is the best it's been in probably 3 to 4 years. Yeah. So I think we have the recipes of what win you, football games when it comes to December, in January. And that's getting out to the quarterback and being able to run the ball. So I'm super excited, to watch those guys. And yeah, man, you can catch it on One Love Media.
Perfect.
Davin Bellamy 17 on the X and the IG, and Team 7 Meeting, on IG. And I really appreciate you guys having me on.
Yes, sir. Well, awesome, we appreciate you jumping on board and agreeing to do this. It's been awesome walking back through your career and talking about some good memories and whatnot. Yes, y'all go check out One Love Productions, or One Love Media, right? One Love Media?
Yeah, for sure.
One Love Media, my
Okay.
bad. I don't want to get the wrong thing.
No, you're
One
good.
Love Media. Go follow Davin on socials. Guys, I'm telling you, he does some really, really good stuff. Jam up. And it looks good, Davin. I don't know who your camera guy is, but they're doing a
shout out to my boy Dennis. He's pretty good. He's pretty good.
It looks really good, man. I mean, again, y'all follow him. It's a special opportunity to be able to listen to somebody like Davin break down these football games, guy who's been there, lived it. So follow them.
Yeah. Well, Davin, we appreciate it, man. We're going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for hopping on and joining us on Row 60.
This was fun, man. I'll let y'all boys.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it, Davin. God bless you, man.
Good stuff.
Always. God bless.
Well, Adam, that was just great. That was so much fun bringing on Davin. I've always dreamt of having him on here. I think he's the perfect candidate for this kind of an episode to walk us through those early years of Kirby Smart. This was a fun one. And I know we've been doing a lot of reminiscing. We are getting to some season previews and whatnot.
That's right, man.
What did you think about that episode?
No, that was special. That was fun. I mean, a lot of people who have listened to this podcast know about that 2017 season, lived through it, and I mean the seasons before then, and to get kind of the backstories that Davin had and his experiences of some of the big plays that he made was just very special to listen to, and it was fun going down memory lane and reliving some of those memories, whether if you were at home watching it or in the stands, getting to hear from what it was like on the field and behind the scenes, man, was awesome, and hopefully get to do more of that.
Yeah,
and just appreciate him coming on.
Absolutely. All righty, folks. Well, we've got just... It's less than 3 weeks to kick off. Is that not crazy?
I think this season snuck up on us more.
Yeah,
so,
it did.
like us, not only just us individually, but us as Row 60 getting
Yeah,
our
we
ducks in a row. We got to get it wrapped up, man. I mean, we think, hey, we got a couple weeks, but nah, that's not the case.
I know. It's going to be game week before we know it. We got to catch up on the season preview. We got that coming up next week. We'll also have a roster breakdown for you guys. And who knows? We might even throw a third episode before the official game week. Who knows? You never know. It's going to be a bigger year here on Row 60. We appreciate you guys tuning in and listening. I know this was a long episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did enjoy it, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. That'd be greatly appreciated. If you're watching on YouTube, give us, talk about your favorite Davin Bellamy.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then just stay tuned for more Row 60 stuff. We got a lot of plans, big plans this season. It's going to be a fun season. Adam, let's wrap this thing up.
Like I said, getting closer and closer. Go ahead and order your gear, man. I saw, new whiteout gear.
Oh, yeah.
Coming. So I guess in the next episode, we will talk about our thoughts on the whiteout. Hey, it's cool. We'll see. I'm sure recruits are going to love it. So got that against Western Kentucky week 2. So a lot of exciting things to look forward to. But get ready. Go ahead. Like I said, as always, start making your plans that you're going to be occupied on Saturdays in front of a TV or in Sanford Stadium or in any stadium across the South. This is the best time of year. It's coming. We love y'all. Go Dogs!
Go Dogs!